Let's get to some house cleaning first for my YouTube subscribers. There's an issue with episode 196, as it is posted to all but the tube. The powers that be are working on it, and hopefully that will be resolved soon, if not by the time this episode posts. That means you could have 2 to enjoy this week. Fingers crossed. Now on today's offering, there's so much packed throughout. It feels like at least an hour, even though it's just 46 minutes. Because of that, and the fact that it's just so darn much fun, instead of a time warp, I'm going with warped time. What am I talking about exactly? It's a question I ask myself quite often. How about a Norm Nathan show from August 20th and 21st, 1994? Norm regales us with stories and experiences, and we take a bunch of calls, beginning with 2 callers at once. They possibly could have been guests, not sure. Then Mary Fran, Fred from New Jersey, Ursula, Norm and a caller dancing to some tunes, Charles from Pennsylvania, traffic with Rob Floyd, and a UFO sighting. Breaking up the calls will be Norm scatting to his show open and losing it. Always so funny when he laughs that hard. We hear from Lord Henry, Kathy asking about Greg the Squirrel Guy, a caller telling a sweet story, another caller talking about the book Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, Rose from Canada, Ruth from South Bend, Indiana, Ron Curry talking about how he came up with the idea for the game Initial Response. Games Magazine at the time had named it one of the best family games for 2 years consecutively. However, the game portion was not included on the tape. Rob Floyd is back with Alonzo Stagg. I stand corrected. We do get a call from Denise, who is playing Initial Response, but that's about it. Then we have Fred from Medford and Ruth Clennett to close it all out. Episode 197, Warped Time, contorts its way to your ears. Now.
He's beyond compare and so debonair. He shines so bright. You're on BZ 103. Oh, please don't turn that dial. He makes me smile. Norm Nathan Show. Norm Nathan Show.
What a show.
Norm Nathan Show.
I listen to it whenever I'm in the area. I think it's just the nuts. Hello. It's 8 minutes after 11 o'clock, and good to be with you. And I don't know, I just feel just comfortable tonight. I thought maybe I'd just stick around here through the night. Wouldn't it be nice? Because you look like you have a little, maybe trepidation about facing the dark hours of the day, and perhaps if I hang around, we can make it an easier journey. But a dumb music quiz, and we had people calling in, and we're kind of a trivia on all kinds of music, and one of the guys who was here, Ed Mullen, who specializes in rock and roll stuff, had his fiancée in the studio, and right in the middle of the program, in the middle of the quiz, he proposed.
Wow.
And
what did he say?
He said, "Will you marry me?" I don't know. It was nothing terribly. Oh, she said yes.
Oh, good.
But there was a deadly pause between the time when he said, "Will you marry me?" and it was like she was thinking about it. And I thought, oh, my God, what if she says no? But then again, see, yeah, looking at it from my viewpoint, I thought if she says no and shove it up your nose.
Straight to a commercial, right?
Yeah, well, no, I think that's a great dramatic moment. You know, we who run these kind of talk shows, we have no compassion or feeling. As long as it makes good radio and helps the ratings, we don't really care, which is not entirely true, because I'm a very sensitive sort. But in any event, I'm sorry that I got off on that tangent. That kind of stuff. And if somebody's done something that looks interesting, he goes after them, I tell you.
Yeah, even overseas, like the gentleman you had on from England the other night.
That's right, yeah.
That was very, very interesting. When I had called you before, I had told you that my son was in the hospital. I'm happy to tell you I have him home, and he's doing just fine.
Oh, good.
So I was really thrilled about that, and I also wanted to tell you how much I've enjoyed this week, because every night I've lost a lot of sleep, but I've also been able to make it up during the day, so that was okay.
Oh, that's nice.
And
Thank
because,
you.
And tonight you came on an hour earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, Friday and Saturday, not Friday and Saturday, Saturday and Sunday we come on at 11.
Well, I was waiting, and I didn't realize that you were going to come on later, and I just happened to flip on the radio at the right time, and I thought, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
I would have missed an hour.
Oh, what a nice way to phrase it, Mary Fran.
Well,
One of the callers, because I just love to talk to you, old sport. My name is Norm Nathan. Midnight in about 25 seconds.
I wonder if at any time during your life you were ever accused of doing something that you, in fact, were not guilty of.
Oh, I suppose so, but I can't think of what it would be offhand. However, I have a feeling. I have a feeling that was just a question to set the pace, and that you don't really care what my answer would be.
I
that
really do care.
That you're really leading up to something that happened to you, which you'd rather talk about, and I'll sit back and listen.
I really do care. Were you ever accused of doing something that was a criminal act that you weren't guilty of?
Oh, a criminal? I mean, a real serious act, you mean?
Well, not really serious. No,
but a criminal act is kind of serious. No, I don't recall that ever happening. No,
it's a terrible feeling.
I would think so. Yes, I certainly don't argue with you on that. And I wonder if I could ask you the same question, Fred.
Well, I was very upset, and I still am.
Have you ever been accused of committing a criminal act?
Yeah.
Some kind of an act that you were never guilty of, Fred?
That's right.
Were you?
Yes.
I wonder if you'd care to tell us about it.
Well, it's a little embarrassing, but I guess I could.
What do you mean it's a little embarrassing? You brought it up, Fred. You wanted me to ask you that.
Well, no, really, I don't.
You sound like Robert. You got shtick all ready to go, and now you're backing away from it.
Oh, before I say anything, just let me tell you something quick.
Okay.
We do have tree frogs down here, and they have little suction cups on the end of their feet, and they walk up trees and they walk up houses. If they want to go somewhere and the house is in a way, they'll walk up the house. You can find them on the walls of the house sometimes on the outside. They're tree frogs.
Okay, I've never seen it. I know there are such things. I didn't realize.
Yeah, they hang out in the trees.
Okay.
What happened to me 3 years ago? But there was a knock on the door.
3 years ago? What took you so long to get around to tell us?
Well, because it happened again.
Oh, I see. Okay.
There was a knock on the door, and I wasn't expecting anybody. I opened the door, and there was a policeman standing there. He looks me straight in the eyes and asks me if I took the panties off my neighbor's line.
Now, which time? Was this 3 years ago?
This was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Now I was in a state of shock because I would never take clothes. First of all, I would never go on anybody's property unless I was invited there. And secondly, I would certainly never steal any clothing off a line. And he said, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't take any panties off any line. And if you think I did, you can come in the house and look around. And he said, I'm just doing my job. She thought that you took them because they were missing. And I don't know why she thought I took them. I didn't even get into that because he kind of apologized and he left. Now, the house behind me, another house, had panties stolen off the line. In other words, there's somebody who lives in my neighborhood going around stealing ladies' panties off the clotheslines. And what the police think, I guess, is because I'm a single person, that I would be so inclined to do this sort of thing. And I assume that this is a criminal act because you're not only trespassing, but you're stealing something at the same time.
I would think so, yes.
I mean, in college when they had panty raids, it was a different kind of thing. It was like a tradition. And I guess the girls really didn't get upset from having their panties stolen.
And when was this most recent incident? Just
today.
Oh, just this past day?
Today. And I'm still a suspect, obviously.
Yeah.
Because I was questioned again today because the lady behind me. But one thing...
Did he make you take off? Did he make you strip or anything? You see if you were wearing them? You don't mind if I make light of this, do you?
I mean, I live a weird life, but not that weird.
I see. Okay.
But
you don't know. I mean, I've never even met you, Fred. We've only talked on the phone.
Yeah.
I don't know what, what kind of strange perversions you may have, Well, when I found out that, What's his name? That's awful the way names slip away from you. The guy who was with the New York Jets, the great quarterback, Joe Namath, when he was doing ads for pantyhose, I figured, listen, guys could do anything. What the heck anymore?
Well, some
Roosevelt
men,
Greer does crocheting on needlepoint.
yeah.
So you could be wearing ladies' panties for all I know, Fred.
Well, no, I would enjoy touching them if they're on someone's body, but I wouldn't steal them off a clothesline.
Oh, you rascal.
Yeah, well, hey, I mean, I'm normal, red-blooded, healthy American, but I don't go around stealing panties off clotheslines. But what the cop today told me is that there are 3 other houses that had panties stolen off the clothesline. So there's some freaky person in my neighborhood, and I hope they catch him, because I don't like police coming to my door and asking me if I did such a thing.
What was your reaction when the police said that? Did you giggle or laugh? Did you turn all shades of red? Did you panic?
No, I was shocked. I was really shocked.
Really
It was
shocked?
like-
Wouldn't that make you funny? I mean, if a cop ever came to my house and said, your neighbor next door is just missing a whole bunch of panties from her line, did you steal them or something? I don't think I could stop laughing. The whole thing is so absurd. And the fact that you didn't laugh and looked shocked, that seems to me, Fred, I'm beginning to think that maybe you are the culprit after all.
No.
Oh, see,
Yeah,
now,
so.
see, I don't like the way you see. You're taking this so seriously that
Well,
it's
it
kind
is
of funny.
serious.
Well, but it's kind of a silly thing for somebody to come and accuse you. Especially if you didn't do it, you just want to laugh about it. It's so idiotic.
Well,
But you-
Norm, it's a crime. I mean,
No, I know.
I don't think it's funny.
I think it'd be funny. Sure, I would think it'd be funny.
Well, I don't think, and I'm sure the women who are having their panties stolen don't think it's funny.
No,
but
I'm sure they don't, and I'm sure the police officer is probably somewhat embarrassed because he's got to go up to somebody and accuse them of that kind of a thing. But I think if somebody accuses you of that and you know you didn't do it, you know positively you didn't do it, I would think your natural reaction was to giggle and say, "What are you talking about? That's the most stupid thing I've heard of." Or that. But I don't think I would look shocked. No, I don't think so. I mean, the whole thing is so far-fetched that I can't imagine being shocked by it. I would just, I think, what a funny joke.
I think if I had laughed, that they probably would have asked me to go down to the police station and for interrogation, and maybe they would have asked me to drop my pants and see what I was wearing.
Okay. All right. No, I mean, if they had come and said, did you kidnap or did you harm a child or did you run into your neighbor's car? I mean, something like that. That would make you, frighten you. I would think something serious like that. But I mean, how can you really get so shocked and so upset by? Did you steal your neighbor's panties?
Because I'm getting blamed for something that I didn't do. That's why.
Okay, and I believe you, Fred. I believe you. I swear, I do believe you.
Well, thank you.
No, I'm sure you didn't. Otherwise, they wouldn't be joking with you. I'm not sure you didn't. Maybe you did. I think I'll call up the police and see what kind of evidence they have on you. And maybe we can pursue this. Maybe we can build a television program around this.
Look, I'm sure there's a funny side, and if they catch the guy who's doing this, and I read it in the paper, then maybe I can laugh about it. But right now, I can't laugh about it.
Well, I hope he is whoever's doing it. Maybe it's a woman. Why does it have to be a man?
I don't know.
Maybe it's a woman.
It could be kids, for all I know.
It could very well be kids. Of course it could be. So check the kids in your neighborhood. See if they're wearing women's panties that are too big for them.
You're going to make me laugh about this, but I'm not taking it.
You should laugh at it, Fred. Don't take it all that seriously. If you know you didn't do it, so just laugh about it. It's not the worst thing that could ever happen to you.
I'll take your advice.
Please do, Fred. And if you take life this seriously, you're going to have ulcers and you'll be gone by the time you're 40.
All right.
Please do that, Fred.
Thank you for the phone.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hang up on him. That wasn't my intention. I thought he was just on vacation.
Oh, hi.
And so she's about 8 miles from our house with a whole bunch of other horses, and she's kind of like away at summer camp.
Great.
I never heard of a...
I wonder if she's learning how to swim.
No, I don't know whether she's swimming or maybe
Don't they do that at summer camp?
Yeah, she might be making leather wallets and appearing in plays. I don't know what they're doing up there, but it's kind of funny to think of the horses being away at summer camp. But
Maybe she took a high dive.
She may have done that, too. Maybe she's canoeing right at this moment.
Exactly, in the moonlight as we speak.
That's right. She met some, she met some stallion, a stallion,
Yeah.
that's right. And they're,
Stallion.
the stallion is the one end of the canoe, she's at the other, and he's singing songs to her while playing his guitar.
Not a Buttafuoco, please.
Okay. Hey, take care of yourself,
All
Ursula. This was when I was leaving, I guess Sunday during the night. It doesn't matter when. It was dark out. And I was heading up Route 1, heading toward home. And this car's in the left-hand lane. I don't like to pass on the right. This was kind of a narrow part of the road. And so I flashed my lights, and as soon as I flashed the high beams on, I realized it was a police cruiser. I didn't see, I just caught the, his bar of lights across the top. And he pulled over, and I passed him, and then he pulled me over. And I said, as I explained what happened, I said, I couldn't even, I didn't know you were a police cruiser. I'm not trying to be a wise guy. I don't like to pass on the right. You were going very slow. There's an area, Route 1, where you can cross over the highways if you're an authorized vehicle.
Yeah.
And he was slowing. He was doing right. He was in that lane, ready to cross over. So obviously he was slowing down. But I didn't know that, and I didn't know. But I mean, there's the initial fright when you see lights flashing from a police cruiser. We all get nervous about that. But then after you start to talk and realize that some silly little thing like that, it's gone. In the kitchen. We can't only dance only about 30 seconds worth because we don't have a license for a full
my
song.
heartbeat up.
Okay.
Oh, you haven't lost your touch, Norm.
I know that. I'm just so proud of my nimbleness on my dancing feet.
Well, there you go.
And you do okay
right
yourself.
There.
Here's the big finish.
Central Pennsylvania.
Okay, what is the town it's near or in?
Ellisburg. Oh, don't ask me to spell it now.
That's
at 34 off of I-80.
Okay.
And it's Ellisburg, Pennsylvania. And it's a big amusement park, family-owned, Knobles. They have 2 or 3 carousels. They also have a lot of old organs that play.
Oh, that Wurlitzer sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a real family-oriented, very reasonable place to go.
Hey,
now,
yes.
I took a trip. I came home to find out that my doctor called me up to verify an appointment. Somebody answered the phone in my house, said that they were my daughter, and that I died the day before.
Oh, jeez.
Now, the nurse tells the doctor calls up my son because he's listed as who to call up, saying, I'm very sorry to hear about the demise of your father.
Oh, how frightening that is.
I don't go to my kids and tell them where I go. I just go. I'm kind of a wanderer.
Well, now, do you live with your kids?
No, I live by myself.
Do your kids just, they have access to your house?
I have 9 kids between 2 wives.
So they come visiting you even when you're not home and they happen to be there?
Yeah, my house is always open. And
I see,
So anyway, to make a long story short, I was dead. They call up my kid. Now, he's calling up all the other kids in the family like, does anybody know where he is? The phone was really going off the hook. It was, don't ask me even that because I don't trace these things. I think this was one hell of a good joke. But we still don't know who did it.
Yeah, but it was a good joke for you, but very frightening to your kids.
Well, the doctor said he felt very, very sad the whole day because he didn't think I was going to die. But the next day, when I went to the hospital, I went up in my property over here and I cut a lot of vines. And I walked into the hospital with a halo on my head. I said, as long as I'm dead, I might as well play the part.
Well, you are a joker there. Charles, you are a joker. I'm kind of glad you don't live next door to me. I don't know what I'd expect.
The idea of, money exchange. $650 a month for rent and $250 for utilities.
Wow.
So I'd like to do it again, but I wiped out right here in my own neighborhood 2 years later, and I have no motorcycle now.
How old are you now, Charles?
I'm 67.
So you were 65 when you did this?
No, it was in 88.
Oh, in 88, okay.
I'll be 67 this coming October.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did it.
I'm sending a lot of packages there because I'm not destitute. I sent a rototiller to Poland. I sent some people in Greece were going to give me money because I lost my Visa, my MasterCard, and they didn't hesitate. Their father stood up and was going to give me money. And I said, well, I still have a little, but they were so nice to me. I sent a big Webster's dictionary to the Sun.
And coming up with some startling discoveries, right, Rob?
Startling. We have some UFOs. Actually, in the BZ Cell 1 phone force, I got a call a couple hours ago. Somebody reported a UFO sighting.
I'm sorry.
No lie.
I'm sorry. There's people who believe in UFOs and all that kind of stuff. He's laughing. Well, there's such a thing, and our government is hiding it from us. The Navy, they see it all the time. They see 10,000 UFOs every night, and they don't want to tell us.
It just happened to be up north as well.
Usually they're down the south. Usually people who see them usually have. This is going to alienate all our friends down in Virginia and North Carolina. But well, I was chewing on a bit of gum. It's going through my field.
Getting something out of the refrigerator in the front yard.
That's right. And there they were, little green men. I tell you, with long. They had five hands. Anyway, I think my imitation of whatever it is, the southern person seeing a UFO, I think it's terrible. Also, UFO really means unidentified flying object. It actually doesn't mean anything, does it?
I guess
it means we don't know what it is.
That's right. Could be a piece of paper flying around in the air and just drifting around.
I wouldn't be surprised. In many cases, it might be that. Anyway, let me give you that big introduction again.
Okay.
We seem to have gone adrift here. Okay, and now reporting on traffic as it's steaming across the upper and lower and all over the place.
Okay.
Without fear, without reprisal or anything, because he's gutsy. Here's Rob Floyd. Go get him, Rob, sweetheart. We're on your side.
Ron BZ 103.
103, yeah.
Oh, please don't turn that dial.
Oh, no.
He makes me smile.
Who that? Who smile?
Norm Nathan Show. Norm Nathan Show.
Zazzy, I think I lost it. Not only the action or whatever it is I was trying to do, but I think I lost my mind. That'd be a good time to retire, wouldn't it? When my body really decays and falls apart, and my mind is totally gone, and they start.
I love you, Norm.
Despite all that, you know something? In this cutthroat business, where you can hardly call anybody your friend, to have you on my side, biting my earlobe like that and saying such nicely, you have no idea what that means. You have no idea. I'm sorry, but I didn't catch your name, ma'am. Okay, let's take some phone calls.
With you.
Well, that's the kind of I'm gonna crochet that on my doily because I think that's a nice saying.
Well, before I go, I had a joke.
Okay.
What's the difference between Rush Limbaugh and the Hindenburg?
Let's see, Rush Limbaugh and the Hindenburg. The Hindenburg, of course, blew up, and it was a big fat thing that blew up.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Well, one's a flaming Nazi gas bag, and the other's just a dirigible.
So you can tell I'm anti-Rush Limbaugh too.
Oh,
So I find that. I find that funny. Hey, best of luck to you, Lord Henry.
Greg, he was a bus driver?
Yes, that's
Whatever happened to him?
Greg from Burlington. As a matter of fact, he called again about a week or two ago.
Oh, really?
He stopped calling me so much. I think maybe he felt that he wasn't too welcome.
Oh.
Which, Kathy, he was right. I got sick of Kathy. Not Kathy. I never get sick of Kathy. I got sick of Greg because he would talk. First, he'd talk about squirrels.
He would drive you crazy, I know it.
Yeah, then I would ask him about squirrels, and he didn't know anything about squirrels.
I would laugh so hard, the two of you.
Yeah, then he got interested in women's toilets, and I thought, oh God, no, I'm not going to go through this with Greg. And then he got one nice person who's related to somebody here at WBZ got put together for him. They made him a squirrel suit. He wanted a squirrel suit because of his love of. And so he put the squirrel suit. He's now got the squirrel suit, I guess. And I thought, now here's a guy who drives a school bus. If I had a little kid going on his bus and I saw the driver up there with a squirrel suit on, man, I couldn't wait to get my kid off that bus. I'd get every kid off that bus. So a lot of these things, I didn't know whether he's making them up. Then he had a drainage problem, apparently, outside his house. And he kept calling Neil Cheyette. And Neil kept saying, get yourself a lawyer and then do it up right, But it's like he'd rather talk about these things on the air than do anything about them.
And then you used to keep asking him if he had anything going. Does he have any dates, kind of?
Oh, do you remember my talking to him? I said, do you like, you go out with girls? Do you have you ever been in love?
Can you get something going besides squirrels?
Yeah, I thought, I asked him if he'd ever fallen in love or anything, I mean, how can you go through life?
Talking about squirrels.
That were not related at all to anything we're talking about. I'd be in the middle of maybe talking with you about squirrels, and he'd throw a train on coming into a station. And people listening would think I'm doing this as a part of a shtick, and I'm not. I don't know where these things are coming from. And so I'd have to steer the conversation on to try to figure out how can I make sense of this to anybody.
You are really one in a million. You are a very, very funny man.
Oh, thank you, Kathy.
I cracked up laughing tonight when the poor guy called in about his. I'm not getting into the story again about his problem with the policeman.
And the fact that you've been separated for a while, but she's going to come here to live and all that stuff.
Well, she was over here back in 1992 visiting relatives, and a mutual friend of her cousin and my father introduced us, and we hit it off. And anyway, she was over here for about 8 months, and her visa ran out. And we got along just great, and we decided before she went back to Italy that we were going to get married. And consequently, we took the normal step. We went through the immigration process. And she went back to Italy in December 14th, 1992. And the immigration process took a year and a half. And she just came over June 8th of this year. And we've been running around like fools, getting the wedding plan.
Yeah.
And currently, we're getting married this Friday evening.
Oh, that's great. Where are you getting married?
At church in Leicester, Massachusetts.
Okay, I wish you the very, very best. How do you feel right now? You a little nervous about it all?
No.
Oh, that's great. You know what happens sometimes, especially when you've been so busy, trying to catch the girl and all that, and then trying to straighten out all these other problems. And then when they're all solved and you're going to marry her and the date is set, then sometimes that little fear begins to set in and you say, wait a minute, because you don't have to, you don't have all these other things on your mind. It's all, kind of settled.
Yeah, well, currently we're having a problem. Her mother just came over Tuesday from Italy.
Yeah.
To attend the wedding, and currently, right now, she's in a big fight with her mother yesterday, and things aren't going too well at this point in time.
How do your folks get along with her folks?
Her father passed away.
Oh.
And like I said, her mother just came over from Italy Tuesday, and my folks have never met her mother.
Okay, so they have not met her yet. Your folks like the woman you're going to marry, I would assume.
Love her.
Oh, isn't that? Well, that's really that's because of course the fact that you guys love each other is the most important thing. But the fact that your folks like her too, I think that's important.
Like her better than me, Norm.
What's that?
I think they like her better than they do me.
Well, why not? She's probably more adorable or something. I think that's sensational. And you'll be living in the Worcester area then?
Yes, we will. And we're going on our honeymoon to Disney World.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun.
We're really looking forward to that.
Oh, that's great.
So I just want to call and say hi, and I'll give you a buzz after we get married and get back from the honeymoon.
I would like to. Could I talk to her when you get back also,
sure.
Do you think? That'd be just great. I wish you the very best. Thank you very much for calling, and all my love and best of luck to both you guys.
Great. Have a great evening.
You too.
Bye
Thanks a million.
Good morning, Norm. I wanted to know if you have heard of a book that came out. I'm not sure whether it was just this spring or last winter or fall sometime, called Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. Have you heard of that?
No, I'm not familiar. Tell me about that.
Well, it takes place in Savannah, Georgia. But the particular thing that I'm interested in about it is that it has It's a novel, but it has a character in it, one character in particular, who is real, and they tell quite a lot about her. And she is known as the Lady of 6,000 Songs. She was sort of dubbed that by Johnny Mercer, who sort of urged her into singing. She had been playing for all sorts of things in the Savannah, the whole Georgia area, and was wider spread than that.
He was an incredible composer, lovely composer, and I loved his singing. What singer is he talking about?
This lady is Emma Kelly.
Emma, E-M-M-A Kelly.
Uh-huh, and she plays right now at the Pirate's House in Savannah. And I understand from a friend in California that the tourism in Savannah has picked up, say, 50% just because of this book. It's a murder mystery sort of thing, but using old Savannah and the squares and the old houses and this sort of thing as background for this. I'm not sure how you pronounce it.
B-E-R-E-N-D-T?
Uh-huh.
Berent. I guess Berent.
Yes.
Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil?
Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil.
Okay. I shall look that up. And I thank you very much for telling us all about it.
If you do, enjoy it.
I will check it out, and I'll let you know how I like it.
Call them pollywogs up here.
Oh, well, you call them that way in Canada, but we call them peepers down here.
Yeah, I know, but you had a lot of callers from Canada, and they said the name in French.
Yes. Were they wrong?
Well, I don't know what the French word is for pollywogs.
Well, for the little baby frogs, the little tiny ones that are only about an inch long, they were saying words like copier or something like that.
Yeah, well, we call them pollywogs.
Well, if you want, and we can become closer, I'll call them pollywogs too, Rose. What the heck?
Well, look at...
You want to hear what peepers sound like here? I record them near a bog. They come out around April, or the first sign of spring.
Yeah.
And here's what they sound like. I've got a little key ring.
Yeah, okay.
That has the sound in it. You press the frog in the middle, and here's what he hears.
I'd like one of those key rings.
That's sweet.
Yeah, that's what they sound like.
Okay, we call those peepers.
Yeah, I know. See, I used to live by the lake in near Thessalon, Ontario.
Yeah.
And we had a little swamp down there and a little puddle of water. And we used to go down and we used to call them pollywogs.
Well, I appreciate that information. I want to just get going, Rose, because we're going to sign off in just a few minutes.
Yeah, I know you're going. Well, I'll be talking to you again.
Please do call.
Okay, Norm.
Okay, Rose, take care. Let's go to Ruth in Indiana. Hello, Ruth.
Hello.
Hello.
I just wanted to inform you that little lovely Mary Fran was very savvy about football, but she's not very savvy about population. 400,000 for South Bend.
Is that off by very much?
We're about 130,000.
Oh, okay. That's still a pretty good size. I always thought of South Bend as, being a tiny little town, but
That's what it is, but 400,000, maybe with our surrounding area. Anyway, I just happened to tune into your program, and it's very fascinating.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
Days in and out here, but...
Where in Indiana are you?
South Bend.
Oh, you're in South Bend also?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I wish I knew Mary Fran's last name. You could call up and yell at her.
Yeah, that would be fun. Maybe she's still listening.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks for calling, Ruth. Bye-bye.
Our childhood home, many years ago, we started having to go to bed way too early, and we started playing a game which we used initials to think of names of well-known personalities. And then we had to convince one another that it was truly a legitimate response. And the game grew over the years to the point where we could play it on paper, and then we developed a board that has two arrows each surrounded by all the letters of the alphabet. Those are spun, and the resulting sets of initials are used to play the game. So it's a game about what you know, or rather, it's a game about who you know rather than what you know.
We sort of played, I guess, a variation of that. When I was a kid, we were big baseball fans, mostly Red Sox, and at that time, the Boston Braves fans. And we would sit around on summer nights on porches doing what you did with the initials. only about baseball players, you know?
Well, there are categories that can be used in this game, and you could choose baseball players as a category if you wish, or politicians, or movie stars, or you name it.
Okay, now
It's very wide open.
Okay, that's great. Now, how are we going to adapt this to this program, and what do people have to do in order to win one of the games?
Well, the best way to adapt it to radio, and we've got it playing on the air from New England to New Zealand and British Columbia down to Columbia, South Carolina on the air. And the way we do it is this. The host would give out a set of initials under a specific category.
And now the host will be you.
Well, okay, I get to be the host, huh?
Well, no. When you say the host, did you mean me?
We could do it either way. Actually, it would work very well if both of us played host.
Okay.
And we determine, based upon the calls that we get, what is the best response for that category under that particular initial set. So what should we start with in terms of a category? Would you like to pick one? Baseball players, perhaps, now that we have a strike and nothing else?
I guess we could do that. Yeah, we could do that. Let me just ask again for people to call 254-1030. Area code is 617. If you would like to play the game with us, it's called Initial Response. Initial spelled with initial, I-N-I-T-I-A-L, with periods in between each of the letters. Anyway, it's a very attractive game. It's very nicely packaged and all that. Is this generally available most places?
We're trying, but, it's very difficult. There's much to go against a small company like ours to get these things available in the larger retailers. However, in many of the smaller outlets, individual game stores and some of the smaller chains, it's currently available, yes.
Okay, because
where it's not, what we would ask people to do is go in and ask for it.
Yeah, that's
that
right.
would help us a lot.
That's right. And if they don't have it, be very adamant about that and just get angry. Say, what do you mean you don't have it? What kind of a thing is this?
In fact, Games Magazine rated us one of the best family games the last 2 years, and we feel that that's a pretty good endorsement. They're the only people that do such a thing, and we'd like to see it everywhere naturally.
Yeah. Okay, Games Magazine's put up by, isn't that Hugh Hefner? No, I'm not, that wasn't a derogatory remark, but I've seen Games Magazine. It's quite a good magazine.
It is a good
But
magazine.
I think it's put up, used to be anyway.
I don't know. I wouldn't have thought that it was, based upon what the other magazines Hugh Hefner publishes, but perhaps I'm wrong.
Okay, could you come just a little closer to the microphone and speak up a little bit? I don't know why, but the level is just kind of low on you.
I'm having a difficult time hearing you as well, Norm.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Can you hear me any better now?
Well, we'll just work on it. I just hope that the air conditioner doesn't go back on again. Make all kinds of noise.
Oh, well, you are? Okay. Name, you know who it was when I screwed up in the first hour, tremendously. So this kind of falls in line.
All right.
Yeah, but my name happens to be
Nathan Norman.
Don't even come that close. My name is Alonzo Stagg, and no matter what it looks like to you. Anyway, what's doing by way of traffic, Rob? Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds great. I'm son of a gun, Denise. You cute, adorable person. You've scored another victory.
Hey, I was shocked. I thought for sure I'd lose.
No, you don't have that negative attitude. Let me turn you over to Keith.
Okay.
And best wishes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. 7669880. It's called Initial Response. It's by Ron Curry. It's been fun having you on. I'm glad we've got off to a rocky start, but I think things worked out. We've had fun.
I had fun.
So I'm glad. So can we do it again one day, do you suppose?
You bet. I'd be happy to do it.
Okay. I wish you the very best of luck, and I hope you're fantastically successful with that. 1,000 people. Yeah, real seller. I know Tony went there to see the Doobie Brothers, and who else? There was somebody else the night. The Foreigner, yeah, and the Doobie Brothers. He said there were only about maybe, there wasn't a sellout for that one. But I guess Steely Dan sells out just about every place. And just saved the night from being a nightmare. Jim Derry, D-E-R-Y, I think he spelled it. He lives down in Rhode Island, I guess. I'm not even sure he can pick us up at home in that particular part. Even though we get to Illinois, sometimes we don't get to parts of Rhode Island too well. But we sat in his golf cart, and he took us right to where the car was. And I really appreciate that. He was a very, very nice man, so I thank him a lot for that. And he it was a nice finishing touch to what was a lovely evening anyway, in a beautiful area. The Great Woods is lovely.
Ones that were recorded long ago say that when they listen to like digitally remastered things, that they miss the nuances that they knew so many years ago, because they used to listen to the vinyl stuff over and over again. Like if there was a flaw in the record and you could hear like a guy in the studio coughing in the background, those types of things are what they look for, and when they digitally remaster stuff, they take that out. So and I believe MTV did an extensive report on this. They had a lot of people listen to current albums that were put out both on vinyl and CD, and there was no contest. The vinyl sound came out much, much better. It's just too bad that they don't wear as well as the CDs. After about 5,000 plays, a vinyl record just goes,
After 5,000 plays. Now, a lot of people were telling me that at the beginning of the CD situation, a lot of people were saying, "Well, I mean, you have to get CDs because that's what they're selling, because they want to now have you convert your whole record library over to that." But they were mentioning way back then that they thought LPs had a better quality than CDs do. I don't know. I maybe I don't listen to that much of it, although I do buy CDs and cassettes, and I haven't bought LPs lately, but I got tons of them left, from when I was doing all my jazz show in recent years. So I don't know. Maybe I haven't listened closely enough to really tell, or maybe I don't have a set that's sharp enough to differentiate. But because CDs are a lot easier to handle. Just plug them in and you can pick out the cut without, moving the head or anything like that. So it becomes a little easier in that sense.
Well, some turntables are sophisticated enough so they'll guide the needle. You can press up. You can press the number of the cut that you want it to go to, and they can actually read the grooves and move on over. I have one just like that. It can read the grooves and move to the next cut. That's not flawless, though. Sometimes you get, the last 3 notes or whatever of the previous song or whatever, but that, it's pretty good.
Yeah, well, I could tolerate that. I wouldn't mind if they never went to CDs if they just stayed with LPs, but since they did, and since I happen to be a 90s kind of guy.
You are a 90s guy.
I am a 90s guy, so I figured I ought to go with the CDs also.
Yeah. Hey, listen, you having the game at 3 o'clock?
I am having the game at 3 o'clock.
Can you turn me over so I can maybe see if I can get
Well, I'll turn you over to Adam, and we'll see. I don't know whether he's got a full house or not, but anyway, he knows that. It's his job.
Well,
hold on a second, Fred. What's her name? Sally Jesse Raphael, and that's the phrase. And Williams, the bald guy, Williams. Montel Williams, and all of these people, and they have all these people here. The programs are really kind of funny in that sense. They say, "How long have you been sexually active?"
That's what the doctor asked you.
I know it. And I keep thinking, don't ask them that. That's a pretty personal question. But here they are on national television, and they're answering everything. And first of all, I had sex with my father in the woods, and it was awful nice. Not as nice as when I had it with my Uncle Ed. And they're telling everything. I mean, when you really care to know, I'm saying, is there no privacy in this world?
I know.
At one time you would ask a woman that. A guy would ask a woman that, and you get your nose broken.
That's right.
And now they go on national television down the whole country.
Actually,
I have a third testicle, as a matter of fact. Can I show it to you? He said, "Don't get to show it on national television." And they go nuts. You pardon the expression.
Actually, a young lady who used to work at WBZ worked on the Montel Williams show. A girl named Emily Bosch.
Oh, is that what Emily?
Well, she went someplace else, and then I guess the show that she went to work on is no longer on, and that's where she is now, working for Montel.
Oh, she's a lovely lady. I loved her. She was assistant program director here.
Correct.
And a sweetheart of a lady. I loved her. I hope she's doing well. Where was she living? In New York?
In New York, yes. She went to work on Jane Whitley's program.
Jane Whitney.
Whitney.
As in Fairfield Whitney School in Everett. In Houston. Okay.
Whitney, Houston.
Yeah, she used to record at the W. Why are you laughing? I'm not saying anything funny. Whitney used to. She used to tape her show at Channel 5, did she not?
That's
For a while?
correct. Yes, and that's why she went to New York to work for her.
I think some of these hosts and hostesses are so funny to look at. They're talking about these intimate things, but they're talking about, like, don't be ashamed because I'm a doctor and I'm used to talking about these seedy, sleazy things.
See, I don't watch a lot of those.
No, I don't usually watch them either, but you can't help, even if you casually tune past them.
I know it.
You getting somebody to say, my boss and I had sex in the supply room, and now I'm suing him for $72 million because during the process he spilled coffee on my ear.
Can I laugh now?
What? Pardon me?
Can I laugh now?
No, I'm doing shtick now. You can laugh. Yes.
Okay. No, it's funny thing is sometimes I tune in at the very end of Montel's, and he always comes on with all the things he can do to help the people.
Oh yeah, well that's the only, because that's the way they get away with all this smut and porno stuff, is because they're helping people. Jerry Springer, have you seen this guy?
No.
Okay, he used to be the mayor of Cincinnati at one time and a teacher, I guess. And at the end, and this is always funny, at the end he does a summation. I'm telling you all these things like I watched them, and I just told you I never see these things all the way through. I don't really watch them that much, but he comes on at the end. I noticed one time, and he gives a summation. Well, although we must get along with our parents, and he's going on and on like that with a little sermon. And I thought and some say he's kind of the successor maybe to Donahue if Donahue ever retires.
And how long do you think all these shows are going to last? I mean, there's one right after another, one after another.
Oh, I think it's a phase, but right now we're into the midst of them all. I think they'll last at least for another 4 or 5 minutes. I don't know.
Actually, Phil Donahue is going to be on at 9 o'clock in the morning very soon.
Oh, really?
Yes, and Oprah is going to be on in his time slot.
Well, that's really nice. It's kind of hard to follow these
so
changes.
That would just give you more things to watch. Now, I was going to say,
this is what I want to watch.
If you got lost, though, at Great Woods, I would have found you, because I'm going to go see Barry Manilow Tuesday night, and I've never been to Great Woods.
Oh, it's a beautiful spot.
Yeah, I
it's
understand
really nice.
it is. So I would have found you.
Just write down the lot number. I didn't do that.
I have a friend who's going to take me, but I would, if you were there, I would have looked everywhere for you and rescued you.
You're a wonderful person, but do you realize how many acres and acres of parking space they had? It's a huge place.
That's what I understand.
Oh, and I'm wandering around. I'm seeing people are lighting up their gas grills behind their trailers. They have parties in the parking lot.
Well, we thought we might go in the afternoon so I could see it all and everything, because it is kind of a long ride.
It's a beautiful spot. It really is quite nice. The theater itself, the amphitheater is really quite lovely.
Yeah, I haven't talked to you since I went to see Natalie Cole. I'm very remiss in my duties as your entertainment reporter here.
I've kind of transferred you to another department.
Oh.
You're now in the accounting department.
I'm looking for a job department after Sunday.
Okay.
I'm going to become your agent. I mean, look at all I did for Dave Maynard.
Yeah.
It's taken me 40 years to get rid of him.
That's right.
Anyhow, when you went to, I want to ask you this question.
Yes.
When you went to Harbor Lights, the 2 times you went,
yes,
did the show start on time?
Yes.
Thank you all for continuing to tune in. If you remember these great days, I hope you love hearing them again. If you've just discovered us, welcome and enjoy these respites from the madness of the world. See you all next week, closing the vault and successfully leaving this world a little sillier than we found it. For It's the Nuts! Ed Mullen, Fred from New Jersey, Tangents, No Compassion Radio for Ratings, Tree Frogs, False Accusations and Visits from the Police, Wearing Stolen Undies? Sounds like a job for Dragnet. Sunflower the Horse, Norm's Nimble Dancing Moves, UFOs, or as they are known now, UAPs, Greg the Squirrel Guy, Long Distance Romances, Emma Kelly, the Lady of 6,000 Songs, Savannah Georgia, Johnny Mercer, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, Pollywogs, Initial Response, Ron Curry, Games Magazine, Alonzo Stagg, Great Woods, Jim Derry, Fred from Medford, Linear Tracking Turntables, Sally Jesse Raphael, Montel Williams, Emily Barsh, Working for Montel, Jane Whitney, Having a Third Testicle, Sex in the Supply Room, Smut, Adam Wolf, Rob Floyd, and that 90s kind of guy, Norm Nathan. I'm Tony Nesbitt.